gonna get after it here. We're in a little boat today, gonna head deep in the marsh. Here you go, put it in there, Trey. Really nice morning here in the Withlacoochee. We're here in Yankeetown, Florida today, and I'm looking forward to it. We got clear bluebird skies, light winds. It should be a good day of fishing.
Yeah, man. We're gonna try to fish this incoming tide, a little bit of weak tide today, but the fish have been strong. Should get on some tailors first thing. Hoping so anyway. And then the water comes up, we'll go back deep in the marsh to be able to sight fish some.
See, we got some topwaters tied on.
Yeah,
I'm looking
man,
forward to that.
For sure.
Beautiful place up here you guys have. It's unbelievable. Very quiet, not developed. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man.
On this episode, we're fishing with Captain Trey Mikell out of the Old Florida Lodge in Yankeetown, Florida. So I've seen Trey's stuff on Instagram and Facebook and videos that he's put out of big redfish and snook in the backcountry marshes from Yankeetown to basically the Swanee. And we ended up meeting through a mutual friend, and we've kind of come closer and started fishing a little bit, and he's kind of showed me what he has to offer, and it's really like nothing anyone has to offer on the whole coast of Florida from east coast to west coast. It's sight fishing big redfish way back in the marsh. If you see one or two boats all day, it's a bunch. It's really, really secluded. It's treacherous, and you really have to have a guide to go do it. He tears the bottom of his boat to pieces just getting over these rocks and rock bars to put you on the fish. It's like something you'll never experience with anyone else.
I've been fishing here roughly pushing 20 years now. Since I was a kid, me and my dad used to go a lot. It kind of turned into me and my friends going all the time out of John boats. We would get a little bit bigger motor, a little bit bigger motor, a little bit bigger boat, go a little farther, on and on, learned a little bit more, figured out that they would eat stuff other than cut bait and shrimp, and you know, started out from there and kind of worked its way into what it is now, essentially.
Big snook.
Big snook.
You called that one. A little bit of different bottom there on that bank. Just a little bit of rock made all the difference. We're just sitting there waiting on that bait fish to come by. Big one too. There's nothing better than watching those jokers come up and blow up on that topwater. Oh my God. He absolutely crushed it. You good up there? I'm gonna step down, okay? Yep.
Woo. Brandon, that was a sick eat. That one's gotta be in slot.
Beautiful fish. That's what we're looking for right there.
For sure.
He was right where he needed to be too,
Yeah,
right on that
contour change on the side of the bank.
Awesome fish. He smoked that topwater too.
Nice fish.
I'm ready to do that again. That was fun.
I discovered a lot of the backwater and the topwater fishing through trial and error of, you know, just trying different spots. And there's a lot of spots that I fish now that I've ran right by for years and years because I went into them 5 years ago and we didn't catch any fish in them one day. And then a place that you really have a great day at, you repeat, go to that, you know, and that's kind of how it built up. Now I like to say that I know half of it, you know, half the marsh. You know, we're all the time going to new places, non-stop, new places.
On big and too, but we got a mess going on here. I'm probably gonna have to get out the boat to land this fish. We're hung up, but we got a big one hooked up. I'm gonna go get him. This is what you call suspense right here. That right there is sick. Oh my God. Woo. Not every day you got to get out for them, but hey, that is awesome right there. Right where this flow came out of this little creek, he was sitting there waiting for a bait fish, and he got him a skitter walk. Beautiful fish. Let's get this guy released and see if we can get another one. So we were in the Salt Marsh 1444 today, and it is a little boat, but that's what you have to fish these areas that we were fishing. I mean, we were floating over some stuff that was 2 to 4 inches, and he would push the boat over the rocks, and if you were in any other boat, you would have been stuck back there, and I promise you do not want to be stuck back in that marsh, especially overnight. You would get eaten alive by mosquitoes. It's really crucial to be in one of those small boats and to have a guide like I had today to be able to find these fish and get back in these areas that we were in. If we would have stayed back there too long in any boat, you'd have been stuck. But he knew his limits, he knew what his boat can do, and that's what you gotta do sometimes to get back in there in those tight spots to catch those fish. We're so far back here in the woods that I had to jump out of the boat and get across these rocks because this boat would not come across with all of us in it. So we're gonna get this thing and we're gonna push it across these rocks and get back here in this pond and see if we can get a couple of these fish that we saw pushing it when we hooked into that one.
Let's do it. Whenever you're ready, Brady, I think we can slide in it.
All right.
He's on.
Jumbo, son.
Same spot as yesterday.
This is a hell of a fish right here. Yep. He absolutely grenaded in that little bit of black water.
That's
what we've been hunting right here.
Yeah. Make a jump right here for us. Oh, it's a big dog.
That is a big one there.
That was 35.
When I was a kid growing up in the Crystal River and Homosassa and Chassahowitzka area fishing, we didn't see very many snook. We saw some, but the numbers weren't really high. And as I've grown up, we've really started to see a great push of snook come up into our region. In Yankeetown and Cedar Key, Swanee, Steenahatchee, you would never see a snook there when I was a kid. And to see this many snook in our area now is really a blessing. It's a change of events when you're catching redfish and then all of a sudden you catch a 35-inch snook. It's like a huge surprise and something we're very blessed to have.
Big one, dude.
That is a big one.
That was a huge blow up.
That's what we're looking for. Freaking stud.
Yeah, it is.
Got him hooked. He wasn't going to come off. Oh, I'm hooked.
No, he wasn't coming unbuttoned.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
It's a solid 35, 36-inch fish.
Somewhere in that range.
Well, we knew we were going to have to wait a little bit for that tide to really get up, and it's starting to get right now. We're starting to catch some big snook.
Yeah, man. Should get good towards the back. Still got some tide left coming in. Hopefully be some more of these things back there. The game plan was to always go into the marsh, into the back. And that's just the way the season's set up right now, the way the tide flow is. That's not always how it is. Well, sometimes we're on the outside, sometimes we're even deeper than we were. Pretty much, I knew that we were gonna get them today if we were able to get the weather to get back there in some good light, and we were blessed with some good weather today.
So, of Trey being here his whole entire life, he was born and raised in Gulf Hammock, Florida, and he's fished in a John boat, in aluminum boats, and now he's in a little 14-foot fiberglass boat. He has really not even scratched the surface of what he is looking for. I mean, every single day he's out, he's learning something new, and that says something for someone that's been here their whole life, is to just now start figuring things out after 20 years. I mean, there's just so much water to learn here. It basically could take you a lifetime to learn everything there is to learn. Got him! Oh my God. Got him on, baby. Woo! He was crawling.
Oh no, dude, that was epic.
He was crawling down the bank. Got him on the 5th cast.
That was not little.
Woo! Dude, he was just crawling down the bank in inches of water. That was so sick. I mean, it does not get any better than that right there. Oh my God. Whew. That is what I'm talking about.
Look up ahead of you, the fish still pushing. Anyone who has a fishing mentality for shallow water fishing can look at my area on a map and tell you there's fish there. It looks fishy. It is fishy. It's really hard on the bottom of a skiff. You know, it destroys the bottom of a skiff totally, wrecks it in a sense, you know. So it's not the easiest place to fish. It's very, very forgiving as far as how the fish act. The fish act very good because they have not had the people pull them, you know. And, you know, we ran trolling motor a lot in the beginning. We would bump rocks and spook fish 50 foot out, still catch them when we seen them. Then we figured out we could pull to these fish a lot shallower and not touch them. And since then, I haven't had a trolling motor on my boat in pushing 4 years now. So I pull, I would love to know how many miles I've pulled at this point, but quite a bit, you know.
You preached it all day. Patience, patience, patience. And
I had to wait for the water to come up.
That's
I knew we would get them. Dude, that was one sick eat right there, dude. He came up and almost came out of the water like a snook.
His whole back was almost out of the water. I mean, he was just crawling down the bank too.
See the other big one is going down?
Yeah, they're big, big one. You could still see him kind of crawl, just eating down the bank. Whew. There's nowhere else in Florida that you can really do that. I mean, that fish never spooked. We were 10 feet from him when I threw to him the first time.
His back was about 2 inches out of the water.
And he was just easing down the bank, and oh my gosh. That gives me the shakes, gets me so excited watching him eat that topwater right there. I mean, it does not get any better than that. They are starting to choke it now.
Yeah, they are.
Earlier, we were just kind of getting them. They weren't really getting it good, but now they're really starting to commit.
That's a solid one, dude.
That is. So he's really upper slot, probably 26 and a half to 27 and a half.
Yep.
Really nice fish.
Really good one. And we are back here in nowhere. I mean, we're in no man's land. Nothing around us, no boats.
We have seen like one boat all day on
Crab
the
boat.
outside. Crabbing boat, and that's it. I mean, that's what we dream of.
Got a cool heart spot.
Let's get him back in and try to get that other one we saw crawling down the bank there.
Cool.
So on today's episode, I kind of had an idea of a 1-2 punch, you could say. We were gonna have a swim bait rigged up. This is a Texas eye head with a diesel minnow. This is the red bone color, 20-pound diamond presentation fluorocarbon. Plan with this is if we raised them up on topwater and couldn't get them to bite, we were gonna chunk this right behind it, but we really didn't end up having to do that throughout the day. I may have thrown it 20 times. They were really eating the topwater good. I was using a Rapala skitter walk. This is the bigger skitter walk. I had this paired up with 40-pound diamond presentation because we were getting a few snook strikes, so I wanted to have that little bit heavier line so we didn't break them off like the 20-pound. They can kind of chafe through that with those gill plates, and we didn't want to lose any of those big snook we were hooking. And I had it on a Daiwa Coastal 7-to-1 with 40-pound diamond braid, and I had this on a 7-foot medium action TD Soul casting rod. I don't care to go with the 7.6 for the casting rods just because you can get those easier pitches with that shorter rod and you can just underhand it instead of having to come over it. Really good accuracy with the bait caster, and we were having to hit these tight spots to get these redfish and snook to bite. So I went with the most accurate rod and bait I could go with to get those strikes. But like I said, the 40-pound leader, it was a huge key to not chafing through these big fish on the rocks or in the gill plates. So Trey, I noticed the tide's dropping on the edge of the marsh right now. What do these fish usually do when that starts to happen? Because I noticed the fish are kind of moving around. I'm just trying to figure out what they're doing.
So when the water starts to fall out of these creeks right here, these fish will start coming out of these ponds and these little drains, and they'll start getting more in the middle, feel a little more comfortable because the tide's slacker, the water's not flowing as hard. So we're gonna slip on back here a little bit, and hopefully this water will start pulling out and kind of pulling them out of the spots we can't cast to them because they're so high in the grass.
We're deep back in here too, so that tide on the outside is already dropping or almost low. We're just so far back in here that we still have plenty of water.
Yeah, we're probably about 2.5 hours delayed all the way this far back in the marsh. We're probably 2.5 miles in right now.
Giant. Got him on.
Big fish, 30 incher. I'm gonna go grab that.
It's the one we've been hunting all day right here. We come through this cut earlier and we saw a couple extra fish scoop off. Just slid back in here and got them to go. That's a good trick. Woo!
He is mad too.
He choked it. When you're gonna fish this part of Florida, basically from Horseshoe Beach to Chassahowitzka, you have to have the mindset that you're gonna go tear your boat up. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have to eventually get it fixed, and he has that mindset to the fullest. He will take his boat to the extremes to get you where you need to be. I mean, the bottom of the boat is just scraping as he's pushing, and you're just cringing the whole time, but again, he puts you where you need to be to have success on the water and catch these big redfish and snook.
Nice one, dude.
I know, man. What a beautiful fish. That's what we came back here looking for. Topwaters all day long. We haven't changed up much. I mean, we've thrown a swim bait a little bit, but those topwater eats are just absolutely incredible. That fish absolutely slammed it.
He did that for sure. So the claw came from you know, my watching Flip Pallets video on the guava fork of how it absorbed the bottom, and I have a lot more rock than probably anybody else does around this area. So I tried to kill with a couple regular Ys. It works really well. It absorbs the shock of the impact. You know, it is not as loud on the bottom. It doesn't spook near as many fish. The claw is kind of a unique one that I found. It had a lot of splits in it all the way through. So I was pulling a lot of mud in the last year on some new spots, and I was sinking the pole 3 foot down and pulling myself 3 foot back, trying to get it back out, even with the fork. So I just wanted to find one that I could kind of make that was more wider, that had more traction, and so far it's going pretty good.
So Trey's pulling down the creek with his claw, and he spots a big, I don't know, I guess it was almost like a trash bag, and he's like, we have got to pick that thing up. That is gonna be good karma, and we are gonna catch a fish. I'm like, okay. So he pulls over there, we pick the bag up, throw it in the bottom of the boat, and not 10 casts later, we were working this point, and this redfish gets on my bait, and he just was meant to be. I mean, the fish committed exactly how he was supposed to commit, and we were able to land the fish. And what Trey says, karma's your friend in the fishing industry, so make sure any piece of trash you see, stop, pick it up, and it will lead to a couple big fish in the future. Got him. Giant.
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 Oh my God, give me some room, 40 inches.
Absolute monster. Absolute monster. Right
Oh my God, stay tight.
Oh my God, no.
Oh,
Bruiser, son.
oh my God.
Holy
shit.
This is nuts. What a giant right here. This is what we've been hunting really all day.
Brandon, good job letting me eat it, dude.
I wanted to set the hook so bad.
Oh my God, I know you did. That's what you did. I gotta catch this thing a little bit.
Woo.
Watch it.
This is a bruiser right here, boys. Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, that is what we've been hunting.
Giant.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what a fish from in the woods, dude.
That gets your heart racing right there.
There was the other one with him that was trying to eat it with him. Those two. One time.
Hey, you said it. We just picked up a big old bag. It's still laying in the bottom
fish.
of the boat right there. It's all about the karma right there.
Take care of the marsh. Y'all check this one out.
What a beast. Oh my God. Dude, that thing ate it and he was in this much water just plowing. Oh my
35,
God.
36.
Thank you very much. That is unbelievable.
Weighs 20 pounds.
Yeah, no, he's big, 18, 20 pounder, 35 to 37 incher.
Want to get a pic real quick?
Yep. Dude, hey, that's what you specialize in, is big redfish in the marsh. You told me we were gonna have a chance at one of that quantity. I mean, that quality. That is a stud.
And we are in the back.
We are. I mean, that's the end right there. That's the dead end of it.
So
it's
awesome, man.
Oh, that'll get you pumped up right there.
For sure.
I say that's a good one to end the day on and head back to the lodge and maybe get a cold beer.
Works for me.
Nothing better than a cold beer after a good day of fishing.
That's right.
Wow!